I'm Commander Shepard, and this is the best Towns playthrough on YouTube.
Modern Souls here. I can't remember his name. Solus?
Modern Solus, yeah, he was from Mass Effect 2.
And he did that epic song.
Yeah. Let's set them going, Velerious, now that we've should we do the intro? Hello folks and welcome back to Towns and all that bollocks.
Welcome back to Towns, Velerious. Oh wait, I'm Velerious.
Yeah, you are Velerious. Well remembered.
Yeah, good name to remember. It's gonna be big.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's you're going to be the king of YouTube, Velerious. It's only a matter of time.
I've only just started getting back into regular uploads to my channel, which is...
Before we do anything else, Craig Gummersall correctly pointed out, Velerious, that the problem with the butchering is that we, ages ago, like back in episode 1, we moved butchering down to the bottom priority because we didn't think we'd need it.
If I remember correctly, you said at the beginning that we're going to have week that absolutely ages, and we're not
which we did.
Like episode 70.
Well, yeah, that was the way it works. So now we need to move butchering back up. Now, it doesn't want to take priority over harvesting or cooking. Does it want to take priority over cooking? No. Because it doesn't feel with bread on it.
Hauling's number 3, is it?
So do we want it third and then hauling? Yeah. Hauling doesn't matter where you put hauling, it doesn't make a fucking bit of difference. So then mining.
Yeah.
Tilling and chopping, iron construction and wall construction. I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's what we want. So with the butchering moved up, they should start butchering the animals. Now then, we had orders in. We had orders in for 44 steaks. And we had orders to cook. Not many of them.
No, we had 5 always.
Permanent order for 5.
So they'll always have 5 on hand.
Okay.
And we set the meat to 50, and we just kept putting it back up to 50 when they got low on it.
So it looks like they all just ran down there to grab some cows. Even though it looks like they haven't got them, we know that they have.
Because unfortunately,
Towns
version 8 has a bit of a problem.
I'm not sure if it's a glitch like just that exists, or whether it exists because there's already so many cows down there.
I don't think we ever specified as well that we're in Towns version 8A.
Well, I think we have a few times we've mentioned that we're in version 8 instead of a newer version.
Yeah, but it's version 8A, it's not version 8B.
I didn't even know there was an 8B.
Yeah, I think there was an 8B that fixed a few bugs, and then it went to 9.
Yeah, 9 was when they did it so that the saves would be backwards compatible.
Yeah. And then...
We've got blue flowers. So what's probably holding them up now is killing the cows.
And there's a lot of cows to kill.
There's a lot of cows. There's a lot of cows.
He's just sat there on the blue road. He's like, somehow this just feels right.
Let's have a look what people are actually doing.
Sleeping.
So Rose is making road.
A lot of sleeping.
Someone's cooking some steak. Cooking steak, raw steak.
Someone had an egg.
Sleeping.
He's been making omelette.
Raw steak. Okay, so they are going for raw steak.
I wonder what comes under omelette then. Like, what is it telling them? Is it like harvesting for an omelette, or because it won't be butchering for an omelette because you just get an egg.
To get the egg from it, it'll either be harvesting or butchering. It'll be counted as because it's gathering and harvesting.
Yeah, it'd be gathering.
So I'd imagine it's gathering.
Yeah, they'll be gathering. No problem.
Magic the gathering.
Do you remember that card game?
I never really played Magic the Gathering, actually. Played Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot, didn't we? We were quite good at Yu-Gi-Oh! We quite like that.
Just because it took like ages to do anything in Yu-Gi-Oh! I cap up my turtle.
Anyway, they were all the cards are so confusing. It's like, do you remember that we found that one card and we just spent about 20 minutes arguing about how the hell does it work? Yeah. What does it do? And then in the end we just went, right, I'm not using it because I can't figure out what it does.
It had so many lines that they were like crossing over the bottom border. Because there was just so much stuff that
you couldn't figure out exactly what the intention was because it was worded sort of ambiguously.
It was something like every time you have it on your field and every time it's attacked it goes into defense mode, but its defense is 2,200 and it can be attacked once per battle phase and then it gains 3 tokens after every round. And the 3 tokens, when you save up 9 tokens, can be used to kill a monster instantly. And it was just like, what?
Yeah, it was really sort of convoluted.
Because it just couldn't attack, but after 3 rounds you'd be able to take something down.
The ghosts started to escape, which is good, because we know that the heroes can get down there. So I'm hoping the heroes might pop down and push them back a bit.
But like, you're right there, ghosties.
But like the creep lines on Dota. Yeah. Just keep pushing them back, it's fine. I also want to as well, we should extend this road At least to the doorway, because I've noticed some people
Yeah.
coming out from the dungeon and walking through the storehouse.
Because they're bringing the stone in.
Yeah, so that's
Like,
yeah,
totally.
yeah. So we should do that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, bone barrels. That's what we should be doing. We want to put some orders in for barrels, don't we?
Yeah.
So we want to gather up the bones because they're in the way,
Well, food supply.
and we want to gather up
should
the bones before any more bones end up in the ghost room. That
Food
was
supply should
the
be
thing.
fantastic now.
Yeah. So, should we have a chop or should we use our existing wood supplies? I think we should have a chop. Because we've got a lot of wood, but we're not full on barrels.
How much wood have we got in?
230.
Well, we could have another chop, because if a market comes with wood as well, we could just sell wood too.
I reckon we should have a chop, because then anything we don't use from this chop will go into the storeroom.
Only problem is we're actually giving him quite a lot to do.
But we always are, really, Velerious. I mean, when have we never given him lots to do?
I know, it means they're building the road, harvesting, making cow meat.
Making cow meat.
Cow meat, like yummy, delicious cow meat. Can't get enough of that wonderful cow meat.
I mean, what we need to think about as well is if we are going to flatten this hill and put like a meat processing facility here, are we gonna have it so that we mass kill, like, let's say 200 cows, okay?
Yeah.
And then mass cook the steaks and store 200 cooked steak? Or are we going to store 200 raw steak and let them cook it as they need it? Like with the perma order for 5?
We could do, yeah. Which I think is probably better.
Which is better, storing the raw or storing the cooked?
I mean, it's probably better storing cooked, because then they can just get it if they're hungry and we're out of food.
Yeah.
But obviously it's going to take them time to take all that cow's, like, meat and then...
Is cooking one of the priorities? It's not, is it?
No.
So there's no way to sort of encourage them to
Yeah.
do... Oh, no, baking
Baking
and
and
cooking. Oh, it is. It is a
And
priority.
it's second, so it is quite hard.
So we could do that. We could do that. So I'm just trying to think ahead so we know what barrels to put in
Like
there.
I said, I think a little meat shack down there would be amazing.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Because we can start making use of the cows, and then once we've got like people on a meat diet, we can start getting the pigs and the
Badgers.
chickens. Yes, and then eventually the badgers, but we're not eating them. They're not part of the hog roast.
But we can technically make
The mixed grill, the surf and turf.
What we can do is hold arena battles, and whoever wins, like the badger, gets eaten by the blue hat gang.
Yeah, not bad idea.
The badger is not brought back for a second season, he's just eaten.
Right,
Oh,
they are
you won.
chopping. They are chopping.
What actually happens to a badger when it's killed in the arena battle?
I don't know. That's something we'll have to have a look at. Right, let me put these orders in for these barrels.
You might as well just do these small ones at a time, really. So, like, just do a few rows for bones and then leave the barrels for a little bit.
We're going to have half a sector for bones. If I put half a sector in,
Yeah.
and then we can fill them full of bones, and then we can do another half sector later.
Because we have got a lot of bones.
5.
It's going to be a nice amount of bones, though.
Yeah, and they're good for selling, which
Yeah.
is brilliant.
The bone merchant will...
And the thing is, we end up with so many of them that it's like, it's silly not to put them all there, really.
Doing good on the hauling there. I can see people bringing the stone in at last.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to mention as well is, we had a while ago a talk about Kickstarter.
Did we?
We did.
What was the discussion
Someone-
about specifically?
Someone essentially asked us about Kickstarter.
Oh, someone asked us what we
of it.
thought about it. Yeah, I remember that.
And at the time, right, I specified that I was all for it and everything.
Yeah.
But recently I've started to notice that Kickstarter has turned away from what it used to be, which was basically, we've got to the beta kind of access, and we're now having a Kickstarter to get some money to bring it into a full game.
Yeah.
And what they're doing instead is bringing on things that are in early alpha. So games that, you know, they'll say, oh, kickstart this game, you'll get the beta in December.
Yeah.
And it's like, waiting 7 months for a beta. I mean, I understand that, you know...
Well, I mean, yeah, but people would... I mean, that's what it's for. It's to get games made. Like the Ship 2, where all they had was a sort of, you know, some basic showcase. And no, it wasn't even alpha, really, because it's not even playable. But
to a certain degree, I kind of think that if a game goes on Kickstarter, it should have at least a little bit of a working copy. So people can actually at least see it or demonstrate it or do something with it.
Surely one of the benefits of the Kickstarter system is that, let's say we wanted to make a video game, and we had the plans and everything, but we couldn't hire someone to even start working on it without the money.
Yeah.
It allows us to get the money, make the game, pay everyone back from the profits.
But to a certain degree, I think there should be a kind of beta access already. Even if it's buggy as hell, like Project Zomboid did, basically. that they brought out their beta access way early on. It was really, really buggy, really awful.
I mean,
but they said to everyone, we understand it's buggy, but if you want to play the game, you can play the game.
But in some ways, that can harm a game's reputation. I mean, look at Towns, which released in beta, but due to some bad PR moves, ended up getting completely slammed on Steam. Even though, nothing wrong with the game, really. It was a PR disaster, is what it was.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like, even Towns, if you went and kickstarted that,
Baked banana.
you got into kind of like a beta with it.
It's like every time the food caravan comes around, it's like it's got something new in there. So we want to buy something cheap, don't we, Val?
Yeah.
We just buy a wheat. I think wheat's going to be the cheapest.
Flour's 54.
Yeah, but wheat's 50.
Yeah.
We'll just buy a wheat.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a raw pork lying around, but we'll keep that.
But what essentially I was saying was the fact that even though you could, say that it's an idea kind of thing, Kickstarter has a place for like ideas and such, which early kind of alpha is really more of an idea if you can't even give it to people to play. So
but it's like,
in my mind, it's
for
kind
instance, when the ship was announced as a concept, if I had money, I would have happily have backed that.
But obviously,
without even anything to view, because it's like let's say a company decided to make a sequel to Mirror's Edge, right?
Yeah.
I know it's EA and EA could just afford to do it, but let's say they weren't. Let's say that was an indie title.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even need to see anything to go, I'd happily support a sequel to Mirror's Edge.
I mean, there is other ways for them to make money as well, though. While they just create the first part of the game. Well, because the easiest way to do it is basically things like Desura, where you can host your game for free and get a certain amount of money, and after you.
But what if you can't afford to start making it? That's what I'm saying.
Well,
and if private investors have turned you down because maybe you're an indie company, they don't know your games, they don't think you're going to make a profit off it. Maybe you haven't been able to convince a private investor to stump up the cash.
The thing is, though, there's just a little bit of a difference between if you have an idea for a game. There's actually a Kickstarter page for ideas for games. Yeah. So, like, if you have a fully idea and you're like, I've got this amazing idea, guys, I can make this game, but I need money to, like, help me just start. There is a Kickstarter page for that. But what seems to be happening now is that they're creating alphas of these games, then releasing it to, like, YouTubers and saying, play this game. And then everyone goes, oh my god, it's amazing, goes and buys it on Kickstarter and finds out, it comes out in December, and that's the beta version that's filled with bugs.
I mean, to be honest, I think indie devs, the way that they generally say that it's okay for YouTubers to monetize videos of their gameplay is a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because there is no doubt that Let's Plays drive sales. I mean, we're so small time, Velerious, and yet even us, like someone, was it the Minecraft guy, said they bought the game because we'd played it? And it's like, I've bought games that I've seen Sips play quite a few times.
I've bought games I've seen other people play. I bought today Alan Wake.
Because you've watched Hannah play it.
Yeah. And it was an amazing deal. Mostly because I watched Hannah play it.
But it's like when we bought Game Dev Tycoon recently, and when I went on the forums, there was a thread saying, how did you find out about the game and stuff? And quite a few people were like, I saw this guy play it, or I saw that guy play it on YouTube, and
It's like the Guns of Icarus. They were bringing out an adventure mode, the Guns of Icarus. And what they did was basically, they got on a few YouTubers to have a battle with dev teams on the Guns of Icarus multiplayer to kind of announce that this adventure mode was going on. And I mean, that's all okay because Guns of Icarus is a standalone game. Yeah. And adventure mode is basically DLC that's going on top of it.
It's just a pity that the big boys don't do stuff like this. I mean, again, EA fucking, they don't give anyone permission to do their stuff.
They've given permission in the past, but they're very sketchy with it. And I don't really understand how they're sketchy with it.
And they're also very sort of, very dodgy with their whole marketing. I mean, THQ had this problem with the not releasing Saints Row 3 on Steam and then ended up going bankrupt. How many years has Mass Effect 3 been out now and it's still not on Steam? And it's like, I know why EA don't want to put it on Steam, because they can make more money out of it off Origin, right?
Yeah, but not only that, but Steam also said to him, look, you can't just keep bringing out DLC.
Yeah, which is, a good point. But it's like, they're thinking, we'll make more money if we just release it on Origin, except they're not, because I haven't bought it.
Yeah.
I haven't bought it, and I'm not buying it till it comes on Steam. So at the moment, they're making zero money off me. If they released it on Steam, they'd be making some money off me. It's like
the thing is that I just find Origin so awful to use.
But the problem is, Origin doesn't have any of the features of Steam. There's no social networking. I don't think it has a friends list, or it didn't last time I used it.
The thing is,
You
Deserver
can't,
now...
Steam has screenshots that I can take from in the game, I can post them up,
Yeah.
I can share them with my friends, I can link it to my YouTube channel, put my videos on there, I can sell items from in-game shops on the market. I've got £2,500 worth of games stored on there. It's like, why the fuck would I then move to Origin? You know what I mean?
But not only that, but Origin has so many things wrong with them, such as like that. What was that thing that they did? That they shut down servers as well. And like, if you owned that game, you no longer could play that game.
Yeah.
Because they basically shut down the servers. It's the same thing with SimCity because it's online DRM.
Oh yeah, that was another EA fucking disaster.
I'm fairly sure that if SimCity ever has to be closed, you will no longer be able to play SimCity because it has to be online.
Because they always need that one server running for you to be able to connect to in the first place to run the bloody game.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. People will just go and download it and get a cracked version.
Yeah.
They're
encouraging piracy, and this is the thing. Steam for so long has sort of discouraged piracy by making it piss easy to buy a game. The patches come down automatically. Yeah. It's like, everything's sort of interlinked, the social aspect of it all.
And also, it's like, how many times have you gone to go install Sims 3? And I've gone, right now, install Sims 3, 1 disc, Sims 3, 2 discs, Sims 3, 2 discs. And if you go on Steam and do it, it just installs them.
Exactly.
And it's like, I only got the Dead Space 2. I've been playing Dead Space 2.
And the cloud saves as well. Does Origin have cloud saves?
I think it might do, actually. But, basically, I got Dead Space 2, and there's DLC that EA brought out with it, which Steam just give you the DLC immediately.
Yeah.
But the only problem with that is the fact that Steam, unfortunately, then said, well, why not just put the DLC straight in the game?
Yeah, I know you had issues with that, with the fact that stuff that you're supposed to unlock during the course of the game is already unlocked.
And it's free completely. But as someone pointed out, all you need to be a real man is a plasma cutter and a line cutter. And that's basically it. That's how I won the first game. In my casual boss fight that I had.
Yeah.
That casual boss fight.
That was
amazing.
I saw it, I watched your ending to your Dead Space run, which was quite amusing, I must admit.
That freaky Dead Space. It enjoyed its jump scares.
I wish they'd release Mass Effect 3, because I love Mass Effect 1 and 2, and as I said to you the other day, I was thinking about playing them for my channel, because I want to play Mass Effect again.
Yeah.
Just for my own self, so I thought I might as well record it, why not? But again, it's just I'll get to the second, and that's where the adventure ends, because there is no third game as far as I'm concerned.
It's like Dead Space 3 that's just come out, which is not on Steam. It's like someone actually asked me to play Dead Space 3, and it's like, first of all, I'm not buying it off Origin. Second of all, Origin just charges way too much for all their games, regardless.
Yeah, because that's another thing Steam has is sales and offers, and
in which case, if I go to Origin,
a wish list.
I think they did actually have a sale on Dead Space 3 ages ago. But the problem was that they also have the DLC that you have to buy separately.
I'm gonna keep harvesting. We've got 105 flour, but I figure, we might as well fucking stay ahead with it. I think they've probably killed all the cows now.
The flour's now spilling over into the blacksmith,
they have.
The barracks.
They've done all the cows we asked for.
Excellent.
But we've got 105 flour, 40 bread, and 0 cooked steak. So have they eaten they've eaten all the steak already.
Wow.
But it has allowed us to build up a flour surplus, which means we can sort of lay off the cows for now. Should we leave these on? Are they still going to keep spawning? Is there a limit?
I don't think so. I have noticed, though, the date there.
Yeah, I know. It's the
22nd.
The 22nd is very cool.
How many days is there in the 12th?
In December, 31.
Is that how it actually works in towns, or...?
Well, I'd imagine it does.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it does. Still a lot of stone there as well, so there's still hauling to be done.
Yeah, but they're obviously doing the harvest repeatedly now.
And while we were chatting, one of the heroes went down into the dungeon.
Yeah, I saw him in
Clifton Poussin, I think it was. Killed a few ghosts.
No boots of haste, though.
No boots of haste yet, by the looks of things. An iron short sword. There's goblin out hot pants. Still one ghost sort of making a push for it.
Yeah, he's trying to escape.
There is that. There's a goblin head down there as well. Oh, delicious.
But yeah.
That was the other thing. Ites.
Deserver recently, right? I kind of learnt about Deserver when I got Project Zomboid.
Yeah.
Because they started on Deserver, because they said that basically, Deserver is going to give us a load of money that we sell for making this game. So they started on Deserver, and when you bought the game, you bought it through that. And I had a Deserver account from that, so I downloaded it and had a look at it. And it has the entire Steam overlay. It has stores. It has sales. It has a friends list that I can add all my friends to.
Yeah.
It's basically the Steam client,
So
but for indie games.
yeah. So just so is like in some ways it's better than Origin.
Yeah.
Because what EA tried to do was create their own version of Steam, and they failed miserably because they've just done their usual half-arsed job.
Yeah.
Whereas Desura have actually done what Steam have done. They've made a sort of digital distribution platform that has social networking features, which is what gamers want now, you know?
Yeah.
This is what people want. They don't want fucking Origin.
The thing is, as well, though, there's a certain bit where I think that social networking should be stopped and gaming should be kind of carried on. So, you know, like, not too much social networking as to the fact that where Steam goes, link your Facebook. Link your Facebook.
The linking of the Facebook, I think, is
link it to your Facebook.
Bit pointless. So it's probably only a matter of time until they get Twitter integration.
Change your name to your Facebook name. No. Who would want to ever do that?
I know. I mean, that's the downside, I suppose. There's a good side and a downside to everything.
It's the same thing now, though, that Facebook and Google Plus are both being ridiculed for. Because Google Plus has started doing that, you can only use your real name, no usernames are allowed.
Yeah, which is why I never signed up for it.
But now it's going onto your YouTube and saying, do you want to use your real name from Google Plus? It's like, no.
It asks me this quite a lot when I sign into YouTube, if I want to use my real name instead, and it's like, there's no point, because sort of, everyone who knows me online knows me as Charon, just like everyone who knows you online knows you as Velerious.
Yes.
It's not that our friends don't know our real names, they do, you know. Like Rasta and Pinky and Jade, who we play with a lot. We know their real names, they know our real names, but we call them Rasta and Pinky and Jade. Because Jade doesn't have an actual username, she just calls herself Jade. Yeah. But, it's just a thing. Like, even when I'm online with you, I call you Velerious all the time. People just don't seem to understand this. Google Plus, it's like, there was no point it's the same, it did this with my email as well. Microsoft Hotmail did this a while back, where they changed it so that it started using your real name. And then I had a friend, like, who was waiting for an email from me, and they were like, I didn't get it. And I'm like, yeah, I totally sent you the email. And they're like, no, you didn't. And they were looking for the thing, they're like, I've got nothing from Charon. And I'm like, that's weird. And then eventually, like, a couple of days later, they were like, I found your email. The reason I couldn't see it is because it was from your real name, basically, and I didn't know your real name, so I didn't realise that was you. I was like, oh, fuck's sake. So I had to find a way then to go in and sort of cheat Microsoft into thinking my real name was Charon, which I did in the end. Put a non-breaking space in the surname and put my first name as Charon.
Yeah, I've been doing that as well. It's the only way around this, really. But it's just kind of like how there should be a certain social element network of, like, you know, if I upload a funny screenshot, it is nice that everyone else can see it.
No, I don't see why they can't just give you the option of, like, you know, I don't mind my real name being on things, but I would rather my username is what people see, because that's what they know me as.
Well, I'd just rather have the username continuously.
It's like, you know, for another example, you've got, like, Simon and Lewis from the Yogscast, Honeydew and Zephos. It's like, you know, if in games they call themselves Honeydew and Zephos, because that's just what gamers do. It would be weird if, you know, in every game they were just called Simon and Lewis. It would be a bit...
Especially since Google has to use your full name by using
so you'd be Lewis Brindley and Simon Lane. It's like...
it's like those people...
That's not their brand, is it?
It's like what I mean? We've been playing Team Fortress 2 again.
Yeah.
And you see the people come on who's called Joshua.Alworth, 1993.
You see loads of these people who's just their first name dot surname, so it's like, you know, Jeff Bridges and Lewis Brindley and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's noobish. It makes them look like noobs, Velerious, when they don't have a username.
A username is a nice, simple thing to create.
It is, and it's important to pick a decent username, because, like, I've said this so many times before, like, to people we know who've, like, using their real name, and I've said, just get a username, because it makes you unique, you know what I mean? But it's like, people pick shit, like, for instance, I know 5 people called Iceman. It's like, Iceman is too obvious a name.
Yeah.
Like, Ace was way too obvious. That's one of the names you started with, was Ace.
Yeah, when I first started. But the thing is now, I've noticed people are starting to take Velerious on things.
But that happens. It's like when I first started using the internet, there were not very many Charons around. And these days, it's almost always taken, which is why I extended it to Charonicus.
But one of the main problems I had was basically, we had this chat with Leah, didn't we? Where he was saying that Velerious isn't original. Because there's an entire, like, vampire-based family of it. And it's like, it's not.
Yeah.
That is Van Helsing's Velerious.
Yeah.
Because it's spelt with a V-A instead of V-E, but everyone spells it V-E for some strange reason, which then everyone started to steal my username because of it.
Because they've just misspelled the actual thing.
Because they're idiots who can't spell Velerious. It's like, oh!
That's just the perils of using the internet.
It's the same with YouTube. I couldn't get Velerious on YouTube because there's some kind of like band that's stolen Velerious.
There's a band called Velerious? Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
So I had to take Vinyl Belly.
So, call yourself Ulrich Bricks. That's the way about it.
Ulrich Bricks. Posting out just videos of me just guarding the flower every day.
People should pick interesting names. I mean, it's like, like for instance, Craig Gummersall sort of stood out.
Yeah.
But he is using his, what I assume is his real name. But then it's like, Agent 00 Call. That's a good, unique username because there's no other people called that. Rasta was a bit of a shit name.
Well, there's a lot of people called Master. That's the problem.
It's too easy to sort of, step into. So there's probably loads of people called Rasta. Same with Pinky, actually. I've seen multiple Pinkies before.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few different Pinkies. But that's just because of My Little Pony, like, craze.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Which is where we got it from anyway, so, Well, Velerious, I think we're coming close to time.
We are indeed.
And we've actually got quite a bit of Blue Road done there while we were wittering away about all that shit. The barrels, they've also done about half the barrels, which is good.
Yeah.
And
I think if we leave...
And we've got a massive flower surplus. We could leave the harvest now for a couple of...
Well, maybe an episode.
Maybe a whole episode. Not two. I don't think we'd survive two.
We might do.
But we can leave them building the road for the next episode.
Put cows in if we ever need them. Just tell them to kill more cows.
I mean, true. I mean, we've probably got about 150 flower there. 140.
140
and a almost full bred.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's good. We're like 3 or 4 harvests ahead. So we can leave them doing some jobs. So shall we pause it there?
We should indeed.
And next episode will be a sort of free will episode. Just leave them to do it, try not to give them anything to do.
While we discuss things.
And I'll sort the bone barrels out.
Alrighty then.
So, okay folks, bye-bye, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.